All right, everyone, welcome back to Ancient Wisdom from Modern Times. We are examining the book of Mishlie, and we are trying to unearth the deep wisdom that King Solomon left for us to uncover in his works. Remember, if you have not gone back to any of the old classes, you're just joining in for the first time, I recommend going back and spending some time looking at the introductory class. You could find everything on YouTube. We have a massive library of all the rabbis here. All the speeches are on YouTube. Everything is always backed up there. And everything is actually, you could subscribe to it. So the second it comes in, you'll get a notification and so on and so forth. It's really easy to get that information. So we left off last week in middle of chapter 11. And we spoke about this idea that Toavat Hashem Ikshe Lev, that the perverse hearts are an abomination to God. That God ultimately is not looking for people who are twisted and broken. He's looking for people that are straight yashar. And straight yashar means that you have a path for growth. Straight yashar means that you have a clarity as to what it is you're meant to accomplish. And if you don't even have that clarity, at least at the very least, you're asking the questions, trying to figure out, trying to find the way of moving forward and not just resting on our natural talents, which I believe is somewhat sinful, right? Just doing the same thing over and over again and not being proactive about developing the best parts of ourselves. Just kind of coasting is antithetical to Judaism and to Jewish practice. I would argue that the greatest chinuch, the greatest education that we could give our children and our community is this one idea, that the purpose of study, the purpose of education, the purpose of personal development is not about making more money. Money is a side hustle, right? The main hustle, the main thing that we do every single day is the book of you, the book of developing the self. And the truth is that the people that are successful out there, I believe, fall into two categories. There's some people who fall into the category of I got lucky and I made a lot of money. And there's another kind of person who is made a lot of money because of the constant development, asking the right questions, the inner work that needs to happen in order to allow someone to achieve some level of success. And if that's not happening, unfortunately, those people live in somewhat misery, not always unhappy, but they're never truly happy, because the things that have the most value and the meaning, the things that have the greatest potential for making us achieve levels of happiness are things that can't be bought. They come from things that are spiritual. They're things that come from things that can't be purchased by money, and that's where real value is coming from. Okay, so let's continue on over here and let's see how far we go today. So we're in chapter 11, and we're in Pasuk Chaf Aleph, 21. And Mishlie continues, and we've had this theme over here, and we said that every single chapter, Shlomo Melech kind of like takes one idea and circles around it over and over again, so that you and I could kind of fall into the idea and walk away with a deeper appreciation of the subject matter. Meaning, I could go ahead and teach you something, any kind of material, and you'll walk right through it. But King Solomon, he's a master teacher. And so when he's teaching you things, he's not just saying it once. He's going to say it in a roundabout kind of way, because he wants you to fall into the material so that material becomes yours. He wants the material. He wants you to own the material. A great teacher is a teacher who does not create a reality where you're coming back to the teacher. A great teacher is a teacher who empowers his students to go out and find the strength to walk on their own. That's a real educator. Okay, not for you to keep coming back and more. If I keep that system, there was where was it? I was recently in someone's home, and they had a stove and an oven that was made 60 years ago. I forget the name of the company, but it's still working. It's an amazing oven. And they said that the company was something Metal Works America, it was some U.S. company. The reason why they went bankrupt is because their products were so good they never needed to be serviced. So the whole industry kind of changed now. We create superficial things so that, because, you need to keep selling things to people. So no one's thinking about creating excellence anymore. We talk about, well, how can we create superficiality to get people to come back for more and more and more? This is antithetical to development. The way in which Jews like to build is by building something with depth, meaning do the best that you can do and continuously innovate. The reason why people get stuck and the reason why that company went bankrupt is not because they stopped making, they made their products too good. That's a mistake. The reason why that company went bankrupt is because they stopped innovating. If you make something that lasts forever, and I could make it 1,000 times better by innovating, you'll want that product. But when we get comfortable because we have a product that works and we don't want to try anymore, that's when we destroy ourselves. It's when we continuously lean in. This is exactly what I started with. When you continuously lean in on those natural traits, those natural talents, that is superficiality. This is how you destroy yourself. And that's what Shlomo Melech was saying last week. The title was last week was called Work, Work, Work. It's forever, we never stop. Okay, so he says over here, Yad leyad lo yinakeh ra. This is where we left off last week. V'zer tzadikim nimlat. From hand to hand, evil will not be cleansed, but the seed of the righteous escapes. Okay, here we go. Nezem zahav ba'af chazir. A gold nose ring in the pig's snout, right? In the pig's nose, is isha yafa v'sarat ta'am. Is a beautiful woman from whom senses has depart. What does that mean? So a gold ring in a pig's nose is kind of like this interesting metaphor where, like, you have this pig who's wearing a gold ring and it's sitting all day in its own dung. It's sitting in mud. It's sitting in like feces all day. Like, you're dressing up something, you're putting something beautiful on something that's lost in this world of like excrement, right? So there's this contrast versus someone who has beauty, external beauty, but loses all internal sense, right? Someone who has lost their pathway, and he's making this comparison over here. So that a beautiful woman from whom sense has been lost, right? We're talking about not femininity over here. We're talking about this concept of the greatest expression of beauty in Judaism is feminine beauty. There's nothing more beautiful in the world than a woman, okay? And I would argue that the most beautiful of all the women, of course, is my wife, right? And but in Judaism, we believe that women express true beauty. This is why I often tell this to men, because men are not aware of this. And I think since David, there's someone else in here also. The two gentlemen that are here, be mindful that women look at women the same way men look at women, right? That we're all attracted by the same things. Our responses are different, but we all notice the same things. There's something unique about feminine beauty. And that's what Shlomo Melech is saying, that when the expression of beauty, when beauty is lost, it loses its sense, it loses its logic, right? That is like a pig with a gold ring in their nose. Maria, are you raising your hand? Yes? Oh.
No, the volume is low. I can't
Oh, you can't hear me? Okay. Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now it's better.
Oh, so sorry about that. Okay, great.
Big deal.
Mechila. All right. Okay.
Thank you for complimenting us.
Oh, it's not a comment. I'm just telling you the truth, Marie.
It's so kind.
Ladies, you're the expression of beauty. Don't let anyone take that away from you. Women, all women are beautiful. Everyone expresses beauty in their own unique way. And we've created a society, unfortunately, that has pigeonholed feminine beauty into one kind of beauty, and that's a mistake. Okay. At any point, if anyone wants to say anything, you could just unmute yourselves and speak up. Please feel free. Okay. So let's continue. He says, Ta'avat tzadikim ach tov. The desire of the righteous is only good. V'tikvat rishaim avera. The hope of the wicked is wrath. Right? The righteous person, that person, a real person who's righteous is someone who is consistently figuring out a way of bringing more good into the world, right? His yearning, his desire is to do more good. And therefore, righteous people are rewarded. I don't know any other group of people on planet Earth. When you do something good for someone, you say to them, Tiskeh le mitzvot, right? That you did a mitzvah, your mitzvah should be more mitzvot. Who else thinks like that? You say, thank you so much, can I pay you? No. But in Judaism, it's, you did something good, tiskeh le-mitzvot. You should have the merit, you just gave money, give more money. You helped someone do chesed, do more chesed. Don't stop, right? This is the beautiful thing about Judaism, that we see that the whole function and purpose of life is for us to find opportunities to give back to the world and to give back to everything, to our community, our families, our friends, and let's make the world a better place by continuously recognizing the beauty of giving. So someone who has ta'avat tzadikim, achtov, the yearning of the righteous is only for good. People who want to yearn to do good are rewarded with more good. Right? That's God will go ahead and fulfill their desire. But a person who is wicked, their desires are not going to be granted to them because they're so lost in thinking about their desires and only serving themselves. Tikvat Reshaim, Avra. The hope of the wicked is wrath. The hope of the wicked is to find an opportunity to become enraged at someone else. Someone who's naughty is always looking to be naughty. Someone who's mean is always looking to be mean, right? Stay away from those people. Stay away from people who are unrefined, unsavory characters, because you're just going to be surrounded by that long enough. Eventually, you're going to start stinking of the same stuff. You'll be in the same pig pen with the golden nose ring. In the feces. So he says, Yesh mefazer v'nosef od. There's one who scatters and yet is given more. V'choshech miyosher ach lemachsor. And one who withholds from giving what is proper only for a loss. So we're talking about money, right? There is one who is scatters. There's one, this money for, his money is for charity, and he's always giving more. That's the kind of person. He's always scattering, he's always giving. And the one who withholds, the one who holds back from giving to a proper person who needs the money, is only a loss for him. Meaning, we believe as Jews that the more we give, the more we have invested. That the money, the real money that you have, is not the money in your bank accounts. That could come and go today and tomorrow. It comes and it goes. Markets swing, things change. Nothing is the same forever. We appreciate everything that we have and we thank God for it. But be mindful and be confident that the things that are really yours are the things that you gave. The tzedakah that you give is really yours. There's a famous story with the Rothschild, the famous Rothschild, who had a special ledger of the millions of dollars that he gave to charity. And someone once asked him, well, what is that? He's like, this is the real money I put in my savings. This is the real stuff that I have, the money that I gave, not the money that's in my bank account, right? So it's the real stuff. Yesh mefazer v'nosef od, right? Sometimes people are going to take their money and they're going to scatter it all over the place, and even more is added to their fortune, right? And this happens when they give money to charity. But people who hoard their wealth, hoarding wealth does not make you rich. That's a mistake. Hoarding wealth is a way of ensuring, of destroying everything around you, right? Too much wealth is a curse. Too little wealth is also a curse. There's a happy medium of how much is the right amount. And I don't know, everyone has their own needs. Everyone has their own amount. Ask your local Orthodox rabbi, to help you work out those numbers. But one who is always generously giving charity, what are they really demonstrating? They demonstrate that their money is not important to them. That person prefers to rely on the source of all their wealth, which is God. Just as God is infinite, and therefore God's blessings are infinite. Choshech miyosher ach l'machzor, but one who holds back, right, from what is proper, is only at a loss. If you refrain from giving what you should, he only has to lose, right? No one here wants to be in a place where they could lose. There is a proper amount to give tzedakah for, right? There's no loss when you give your tzedakah. The middle road is always the best road. You're not sure how much to give a little bit less. And if you have no money on you, what do I do? I have no money. What do I give? Where do I give? Very simple. Say, I'm so sorry. I wish I could give you something today. I don't have any money on me, but I want to give you a bracha that the next person gives you money b'shefa. The next person gives you money in abundance. Say something nice to someone. Sometimes you don't have the money to give. But I say, I'm wishing you good luck. I hope that you get whatever you need today. Whatever it is. Leave something with someone. That's also a gift. It doesn't have to be monetary. You could donate your time. You could donate money. You could donate a kind word. You could donate lots of kinds of things. Okay, so let's continue. And he says over here, Nefesh bracha tedushan. A generous person will become rich. Umarva gamhu yoreh. And he who states others shall himself become. Marveh is sated. Someone who satiates others will satiate himself as well. Okay, so a generous person is someone who is consistently giving to the world around him. Right? Nefesh bracha tudshan, a benevolent neshama, a benevolent soul is going to grow fat. It'll have everything it needs. Remember back then, fat was a bracha. Not like today, fat is a curse. The world has changed, right? But when you want others to have maximum good, you yourself are going to enjoy maximum good. A generous person is going to be blessed by and through all of his beneficiaries. That's what Shlomo Melech was saying. And one who goes ahead and satiates others, that person will satiate themselves. Not in addition to all the wealth that this person has. From the merit of giving the charity, God gives him an extra blessing that the food that he eats will be satiate and nourish him in the most highest level. Okay? That is the real bracha of wealth. Having money but being unsatisfied with it, that doesn't help you. But having all the money and being satiated by whatever the little amount of money you have, that's the real bracha. Monea bar yikvu'uhu la'om. He who holds back his grain, yikvu'uhu la'om, the nation will curse him. Ubracha l'rosh mashbir. But a blessing will be given to the head of whom it sells grain. Right? So this is an allegory for something more over here, not just talking about money. Okay, Manohar bar yikvu'uhu la'om. One who holds back his grain is going to be cursed by the nation if one refuses to sell his grain when it's needed during famine, during a hard time. He's hoarding it. He's waiting for the price to go up. He's going to be cursed by his people. Okay, some people make money in the worst ways and they're hated for it. Another way of understanding this is someone who refuses to share his learning with others. If you know something, you have a piece of information, you have a beautiful idea of Torah that you want to share with people, but for whatever reason you haven't had a chance to share it. Share it. You have a mitzvah to do so. Share the things that you learn. Inspire the people around you, and you will see a special bracha from just sharing the words of Torah. Ubracha l'rosh mashpir, but a blessing will be on the head of the provider. If you sell your grain at a time where people need it, right, the people are going to bless you. And this is a metaphor for someone who is giving wisdom and sharing his Torah to other people. Just like grain is essential for the body, right? We have a spiritual need as well. Every single one of us, we spend so much time thinking about our physical needs, we forget that we're also part soul. You're part body and part soul. And your soul needs nourishing. You need to take care of it. How do we feed our soul? There's two ways we feed our souls today. There's something called Limud HaTorah, which is what we're doing right now. We're learning, we're thinking about it, we're having classes, you're getting motivated, you're getting inspired, you're hearing great stories, you're hearing ideas. And the other way is through chesed, through kindness, acts of kindness, proactive acts of kindness, that you are sharing what you learned, you are giving your charity, you're volunteering your time. All those things are part of spiritual development. You're not doing those things, be mindful that the world is moving forward and you, my friends, are on an escalator. If you're standing still and the escalator is going the opposite direction, you are going backwards fast, very fast. So how are you able to get off that escalator? Just be proactive. Most people in life are stuck because they don't know where they're going. I say this over and over again. It's such a powerful idea. You have the ability of changing your world by clarifying where you want to go. Stop doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Empower yourselves to recognize that all you have to do is have tikva, have hope. Have hope that tikva comes to the word kav, right? There's a line that I have a line into the future. Once you have that clarity as to where you're going in life, everything is possible. But when there's no clarity, you're stuck. You need to be expansive to be happy, not depressed, going nowhere, hunched over because you have no clarity. Clarify, ask the questions, and you'll find real simcha. Okay, let's keep going. So he says over here, great. Boter boshro hu yipol, right? You trust in your wealth, that person's going to fall. But the righteous will flourish like a leaf. Okay? So, a person who trusts their wealth, that person will fall. I don't think that needs explanation. I think everyone here understands that anyone who relies on money for everything is in trouble. Someone who says that they don't need God needs God more than anyone else. I don't need God. Oh, you definitely need God. You went there. Everyone needs hope. Everyone needs to know that every aspect of our lives has a purpose. But some people just say very simply, there's a punishment just for trusting in wealth. And that that punishment is the sudden loss and fall away from all that wealth. We don't wish that on anyone. But the righteous people are going to flourish like the leaf, right? Those who trust in God and not in their wealth will flourish. That's what we're saying over here. Just like as a leaf grows more quickly than the fruit, the righteous will be saved very quickly from their troubles. Wealth is never stable. It comes and it goes. Okay? And Chachamim always tell us that. It's a wheel that revolves. It could be, you could have it, maybe your kids might not have it, maybe your kids might not, your grandkids, but it's always revolving. Wealth is always flipping hands. It's always moving from one place, never standing still. Since wealth is such a powerful idea, and it's so everyone is always obsessing about it, he's drilling this idea home. That once a person loses his wealth, he himself will fall. When you build everything around you with money and it's gone, you know what ends up happening? 1920s depression. I have no value. I'm jumping off the Chrysler building. Goodbye. What a chaval. Every neshama, every person is a world of opportunity. That we should create a society where our identities are tied into our money, to luxury and comfort. Have the luxury, have the comfort, enjoy all the money in the world. But never, never believe that that's what you are. You're much more than that. You're beautiful. You have an inner beauty that's just, it radiates. Don't allow yourselves to get mucked up by the distractions. The function of money. Money is a tool. For what? Money is the tool to invest in yourselves. Money is a tool that allows you to become the best version of who you're meant to be. Money's not the goal. I don't want you to think that money's a goal. Yes, you should have money. Of course it does good things. Of course you could help people. Yes. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to do something completely different. So how do we invest in ourselves? How are we preparing? How are we focusing on developing ourselves over here? Look what he says. He continues over here, Shlomo Melech. It's beautiful. He says, Ocher beito inchal ruach, ve'eved avil lechacham lev. One who inherits the wind will trouble his household. But the fool is always a slave to the wise-hearted. Okay, what is Shlomo Melech saying over here? He's telling us like this. Over beito inchal ruach, one who troubles his household, a person who inherits the wind will destroy his household. One whose misbehavior troubles his family will be left with nothing worthwhile. Right? A person himself, right? If this person is lazy, right? And and laziness is what gets in the way of his intellect. Laziness is going to ultimately get in the way of his organs. Laziness is going to get in the way of his body. Because that's the way midot work. They don't split. Right? A lazy person who consistently inherits the wind, someone who doesn't work for their fortune, they just get lazy. They don't invest in their Torah, which means their spiritual and physical development, right? Will eventually ruin their household because they're going to have nothing. They're going to have nothing to eat. I'm talking about spiritual nourishment, right? You don't invest in your spiritual development, you will starve. The eved avil chacham lev, a fool will become a servant to the wise-hearted. Ultimately, this fool will become a servant to people wiser than him, because he will come pleading to them for sustenance. Give me food. Save me. Protect me. Take me into the home. I have no place to go. I destroyed everything. Let's try to finish the parak over here. Pri tzadik etz chayim v'lokech nafshot chacham. The fruit of the righteous man is a tree of life, and the wise man acquires many souls. Hen tzaddik ba'aretz yushlam af ki rasha v'choteh. Behold, the righteous man will be yushlam, will be fulfilled in this world. V'af ki rasha choteh. Surely a wicked man and a sinner. So let's try to understand what all this means, and we'll finish the 11th chapter together today. So Shlomo Melech says like this: Pri tzaddik etz chayim, right? I think we understand that. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life. The deeds of the righteous are a tree of life to the world. When we do good deeds, we bring spiritual nourishment to the world. We infuse the world with kedusha, with holiness. We bring this power that goes ahead and transforms reality. The deeds of the righteous are like a tree that brings life to the world, to himself, to the people around him, to the people that learn from him. Something beneficial grows from this every deed that this person is doing. Every moment is a life-giving opportunity. He surrounds himself with people that he wants to care for. The fruit of the righteous people are the children they raise according to their values. The fruit of the righteous are the things that they leave behind, the core of who they are, the essence of their essence and their being. But v'lokech nafshot chacham, a wise man acquires souls. When a wise man teaches other people the proper way of life, when we share in our wisdom, when we share in our life experience, he transforms them ki'ilu, as if he created them, and they become his. I have a lot of kids, not because I've transformed so many people, but I do believe that I've shared as much as I can with so many people, and I feel a closeness to them, like a child, like a parent to a child, like a father to a son, a father to a daughter. I feel a connection to my students, right? I don't believe I've acquired them, but I believe I've helped them find an expression to their essence and their inner being, which allows them to become the best version of them. And that way, I'm like a spiritual father. That is the wise man. He's investing in others. Why? Because the whole purpose of life, my friends, is to give and not to take. The whole function of the world that we live in is to recognize that we can't perfect ourselves without perfecting the people around us. That if I need to elevate me, I can't move without elevating everyone around me. So what do? I put myself in a place where I can go ahead and be helpful and elevate as many people, as many times, as often as I possibly can. Hen tzaddik ba'aretz yushlam af ki rasha v'choteh. A righteous one, the righteous person, is punished on earth, right? And a wicked one and a sinner, how does this work? Okay, how can a wicked person trust in the good fortune that he's going to get in this world? Right? And it's simple. He sees that someone who's righteous, right, is punished for his sins. So I'll also be punished, but at least I enjoy doing my sins. Right? If we don't believe that there is real justice in the world, we're never going to grow. If we think we could get away with things over and over again, we're never going to push to be the best version of ourselves. Sometimes it catches up to us. Some people are lucky to get away with it for a long time. Those people, they're walking on eggshells. they're terrified because they know at any minute it could hit. But someone who's invested in developing, building, it doesn't matter if you haven't done up until now. I don't care if you've never spent any time thinking about becoming great. What matters isn't what happened yesterday. What matters the most is where you are going today, right now. This moment in time is always the most precious moment that we have. Okay, why do the wicked people prosper? Why do the righteous suffer? That's a very long and complicated conversation you and I can have. But ultimately, to me, it doesn't really matter. You know what matters the most to me? That you, my friends, are proactively working on being righteous. That you have spent time clarifying what your vision is, what your goals are, where you're going, what are you trying to accomplish, what are your responsibilities to your family, to your parents, to your grandparents, to your siblings. How are you becoming a better, greater giver, lover of people? Do that, and you'll understand what King Solomon says over here. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, the tzaddik, the righteous person, yeah, he'll go through punishment, but he's not looking at the short-term gains. He's a long-term value investor. He's trying to go ahead and invest himself, knowing that there's punishment. That's fine, I'll take it, but that won't derail me. I got a phone call today from one of my students who's having a hard time with his spouse. And he's saying how, I'm trying so hard to be calm, I'm trying so hard, but my patience has reached its end! And I don't know how much longer I could be patient with her anymore. So I said to him, I'm so impressed because your response has been so amazing. But don't think that you're special because you showed patience. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? You're not, there's nothing special about your patience. Well, I think it's beautiful. I think it shows character and strength, but that's the right response. Get it? When we're frustrated like that, it usually means, and he's doing everything right, based on what he told me at least, right? He's doing everything right. But he's frustrated, and therefore, how is that right? If I'm frustrated, it must be wrong. No, sometimes in life, we need to show something called savlanut. Savlanut, the word savlanut comes from the word sovel. Savlanut means patience, right? The word sovel means to endure. The real power of patience is pushing through the circumstances that you're in and recognizing that you need a little bit more time to get there. You're growing. He's feeling growth pains. Patience is a powerful virtue to achieve shalom, to achieve peace. Never give up on it. Never give up on it at all. All right. So God willing, you and I have a date next Monday night, right back here. Same channel, same time, same place. And we're going to continue with the 12th chapter Yod Bet, the 12th chapter of Mishlie. We're going to start with one who loves discipline, loves knowledge. It's going to be a lot of fun next week. I have a lot to share. I am looking forward to continuing the conversation. If you have any questions, I'll take them now. Otherwise, au revoir. Have a great night. Sleep tight. And have an amazing week. Kotu, please enjoy the summer. Have fun. Have a good night, everybody.
What was this Mishlie called? Mishlie
is the book of Proverbs.
And this is 11?
Yeah, this is the chapter 11. We just finished the 11th chapter.